All right, so starting with number one, and I want to put a note at the top that we are keeping our eye out for box and diamond, GCF, and difference of squares. Those are the three different types of factoring we should have in the front of our mind as we're going through these problems. See, they're all going to appear on this page. So at least once. Okay, number one. Number one, I'm going to start with GCF on the top. What number goes into 21 and 12? 3. And I can also GCF out an N, so 3N. That will leave me with 7N minus 4 over 9N squared. Okay, and then I can reduce this N with one of those N's. And I can reduce this 3/9 to 1/3. So I am left with 7N minus 4 over 3N. And it says state the excluded values. So I'm going to go back to the original problem. 9N squared cannot equal 0. And that problem is done. Do you guys have any questions about number one? So moral of the story is GCF, then reduce. Excluded values come from the bottom. Okay. Number two, can you guys tell that the box and diamond is the bottom part, the denominator? Hopefully, you can tell. Hopefully you're not in a rush to cross out any of those N's and 5s. Okay, does that make sense so far? Okay, cancel out the N minus 5s, but remember when you cancel out the whole top, that becomes a 1. Okay, now go back one step to your factored form. N minus 1 cannot equal 0. N minus 5 cannot equal 0. N cannot equal 1. N cannot equal 5. Are you guys okay with me adding 1 to both sides in my mind and adding 5 to both sides in my mind? Okay, any questions at all on number 1 or 2? You guys sure you're good on number 1 and 2? Okay. All right. Number 3. This one's already factored. Yay. So n plus 2 cancels with n plus 2. N plus 8 cancels with n plus 8. So satisfying. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to go back though. Do I need to worry about the 3? Can 3 equal 0? No. We only have to worry about things with letters. Okay. Number 4. Number 4, I'm going to go slow. So these first 3 were relatively quick. Number 4, I'm going to slow down a little bit. And the first thing I want to mention is that 10x plus 40 is a GCF problem. Is that okay with everybody? Okay, now the denominator is a box and diamond. I'm not going to do the box and diamond, but if you did the box and diamond, you would get x plus 4, x plus 4. Feel free to always do the box and diamond. I'm just not going to do it for this one. Do you recognize it as a box and diamond though? Okay, now I'm going to put divided by. This top problem is also a GCF. And this bottom problem is also a GCF, which is going to be 4x. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, any questions before I move on? Everybody okay? Now I'm going to write out the keep, change, flip. You might be thinking to yourself, Mrs. Talbot, why are you not canceling stuff? And the reason I'm not canceling stuff right now is because when you find the excluded values, you need to do it before and after the keep, change, flip. So I'm going to take this moment before I even reduce the problem, before I cancel anything, I'm going to find the excluded values. So I'm going to come back all the way over here. This is x cannot equal -4. Does that make sense? Okay, do I need to write it again for this one? No. Okay, what would this one be? X cannot equal 0. Okay, do I need to write either of these two x plus 4s? Nope, I already got it right there. Do I need to worry about the 10? Nope, 10 can't be 0. Did I already get this guy? Yes. Okay, so if you have a highlighter, I just want to be really clear that excluded values will come from all of this stuff. Before and after the keep change flip. We had a bunch of repeats in this problem, which is great, but it comes before and after. So just be really clear. Just make sure you're getting them all. Okay, now I get to reduce, which is the best part. So what can I cross out? There's three things, I think. X plus force. What else? 5x minus 7s. One more thing. 10. Done. Okay, anyone want to ask anything about number 3 or 4 before we move on? You guys sure you're good? Okay. All right. Number 5. Number 5 has a common denominator. Excellent. So that means I just need to add across the top. Bottom stays the same. Add across the top. Bottom stays the same. I'm going to GCF the bottom just to see if there's any simplifying I can do. It looks like the GCF is 6k squared. Nope. Sadly, that's the final answer. Kind of unsatisfying. However, because I GCF'd, I can find the excluded values much easier. Listen. No, okay. So here's the thing. This section, the directions say simplify. However, everyone screwed it up on the quiz. So I wanted to still practice it. But no, technically you would not have to. But I feel like it's still not the most solid of concepts. So I thought, my goodness, Mrs. Talbot, you have all 6 of these beautiful, delicious, lovely problems to practice that on. Why don't we? How could I pass up the opportunity? But you're completely right. And it wasn't that everyone messed it up on the quiz. It's just, you know, it was a common mistake. A lot of people put the like constant, um, like there was a GCF of 3 in the front. People put like X cannot equal 3. It was not, yeah. So, okay, now I have questions for number 6. Okay, you're looking at number 6. And I want to know if you were doing this problem on your own, would your first instinct be either, if there's 2 options, would you cancel out the m on the left side, or would you multiply the right side by m over n? That's I mean, this is what I heard from the people. This is what I heard most. You could do it either way. It's fine. It's choose your own adventure. You'll get the same answer in the end. This is what I heard from people though. Okay, now the people who canceled out the M's are gonna be at your final answer much faster because we have to GCF the M out of the top and cancel it still. But it's okay. And after doing all of that, you look back at the original problem and you're like, I see. I see. But that's okay. What I'm really sure about is that M cannot be zero. Really solid on that information. Do you guys think that like one of the hardest skills for problems like this is to think about GCF? Like to have it occur to your brain that you need to GCF. I think if I would say one thing to make sure put on your radar is check every single thing for GCF. Okay, number 5 or number 7 is more traditional. So this side has a 5 on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply this side by 5 over 5. This side has an n minus 6 on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply this side by n minus 6 over n minus 6. This is kind of our typical type of problem. So pause there, make sure that what I wrote in the numerator makes sense. Are you guys sure? Numerator makes sense? Anyone gonna give me any feedback whatsoever? Do you see where I got this stuff? Okay. Okay, now, this might be confusing for some people. If you want to, you could rewrite this like that. Well, that's just kind of unsatisfying, isn't it? I can't even GCF a 2 out of the top or anything. Okay, so don't have to worry about the 5. Okay, last one. This is an addition problem. You need a common denominator, but instead of just multiplying this side by 3x over 3x and this side by 3x cubed minus 108x, I suggest we factor this first. What does this factor into, though? This is probably the hardest factoring problem of the day. Okay, first question is, what's the GCF? 3x. Okay, and do you guys see why that's convenient? That the GCF is 3x? Okay, now you have some options right here. I'm going to multiply this side by x squared minus 36 over x squared minus 36. So I'm going to come back over here and go x squared minus 36, x squared minus 36. Do you guys see that it only needs that part because it already has the 3x? Okay. Okay, this one's so tempting. Do not cross anything out other than the threes. The only thing that gets crossed out is the threes. What exactly? One, that's my old math one class. Um, okay. Okay, wait, hold on, hold on, hold on. So real quick, you guys realize x squared minus 36 is a difference of squares problem, but x squared minus 35, you can't do anything with that. It's terribly, terribly unsatisfying. You guys don't seem too concerned. Just, just, are you keeping your eye out for difference of squares though? Like that's the point. Okay. All right. So backside. All right. What would you like to eliminate? I'm going to suggest not X. Z? Okay. I like Z. Um, would it make sense to you guys to do 1 and 2 and then like should we do 1 and 2 and 1 and 3? It doesn't, the second one doesn't really matter, but okay. Can you guys stop? Okay, now my suggestion is to multiply the top of this one by -1 and then write the answer below this one. That way I get to be lazy. And then does it make sense on the second problem to multiply the top by 6? Excellent. Those are some kind of scary numbers. Okay, what's next? Multiply the top by 2. Moment of truth. Yay. Whole number. Okay, which one of the original equations is best? Number one, okay. All right. You guys ready for the last one? Need a second? Okay, no worries. Good. Okay. All right. Here we go again. Standard form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c x y x y x y. Okay. Y equals a x squared plus b x plus c. Y equals a x squared plus b x plus c. Y equals a x squared plus b x plus c. Okay. Twenty-five A minus five B plus C. 64A minus 8B plus C. 49A minus 7B plus C. The negatives all over this problem. Okay. Okay, what's the next step? Multiply the tops by -1. Write it underneath. Okay. Yes, I was just gonna say, I thought I made a mistake. It's so easy to make mistakes. Okay. Um, all right. So we're gonna line the two equations up and eliminate, but I just noticed something about this particular problem. I think it would be easiest if we took the one on the left and divided it by 3 and took the one on the right and divided it by 2. And it would be even smarter if we took the one on the left and divided it by 3, but took the one on the right and divided it by -2. Does that make any sense to you guys at all? Can you like see that far ahead? Okay, so let's just draw it and then I'll show you what I mean. If I divide this side by 3, I would get -6 equals 13a minus b. If I divide this side by -2, I would get 4 equals -12a plus b. Do you see what I tried to do there? Does anyone see what I tried to do there? I tried to make the negative b and the positive b, and you might not have done that in one step on your own, but that's okay.
Yeah. So we're making a histogram here. How large is the like range for each of them? Is it from 0 to 50 and then from 50 to 100? Like, are we gonna make boxes from 0 to 50 and then 50 to 100 for the histogram?
I went by tens, I believe.
You okay? So it was just like a bunch of small boxes.
Yes.
Okay. Um, I'll probably go by tens too then.
Yeah.
All right.
Because there's like a lot in that first one and then it should trail off.
Okay. Yeah.
You'll have to tell them. They're all gonna make the bars too big.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Which one of the original equations is best? They're all kind of terrible. The third one? Okay. I wrote it down wrong. Oh my gosh. Thank goodness for erasable pens. That's all I can say. Okay, so y equals negative 2x squared minus 20x minus 42. Okay, now real quick, while you guys are finishing that up, I'm just gonna check our answer. Okay, does it have these points on it? Negative 5, 8, negative 8, negative 10, negative 7, 0. Yep. Do you guys see what I did to check my answer? Who said no? I typed in my answer into y equals. And then I went to the table and made sure that these 3 points were actually on the table. So negative 8, negative 10, negative 5, 8, and negative 7, 0. Just a quick little, like, you know, makes you feel good before you walk away from the problem sort of deal. If you get a whole number, I mean, you already should feel like you're on the right track. Okay, so now can you flip to the stamp sheet side? I plan on stamping these things tomorrow that I checked off. So take a look. Should be rational expressions review worksheet, 2 notes in the notebook, 2 CPM homeworks, and the review notes. While you guys are, not tomorrow, Thursday, when you guys are working on the team test, I'm gonna stamp all 6 of those things. Does that make sense so far? Okay, last thing, I wanna look at the test topics with you. Okay. This is important. We need to talk about this, Google Classroom post. Okay. Last test of the year, other than the final, is next week, block day. You can use a note card and a calculator, same stuff. Okay. Let's make sure you know what these words mean. First bullet, add, subtract a rational expression. You know what that means? It's the what fraction was with the x's in them, plus or minus. So what problems were those in the review notes? Like, what were the plus and minus ones? Five, 6, 7, and 8. 5, 6, 7, and 8 of the review note. Write the equation of a parabola given 3 points. That's the thing we just did just now. Multiply, divide a rational expression. That was problems 3 and 4 of the review note. Solve a system of 3 equations. That's the other thing on the back side with the x, y, and z did. Okay. Now the other old stuff. Given the sum, find the number of terms in a series. I didn't tell you if it's arithmetic or geometric. So where would you find problems like that? Warm up from yesterday, number 13, and then the warm up we're going to do on Friday, number 14. There's 1 arithmetic and 1 geometric warm up for that. And then solve equations using natural log and e. I mean, you guys know what that is. Okay. Here's the important note. If you get sick or something, or miss taking this test by Thursday, you have the option of making it up on Friday after school from 2:30 to 3:30, or taking a makeup version on Monday, the first during class. After that, it will remain a 0 and your final will replace it. You guys remember, your final will replace one lowest test grade. This would be your 1. You don't get this one and another one. Doesn't work like that. We're going to pass the test back on Monday. That's why we would need to give you an alternate version if you took it Monday. We don't lower it, it happens once in a great while. Usually not because it's multiple choice, but we would not touch any of your other grades. It's only to help. Yes, it replaces it and has its own final grade. So if you do really well on it, it's 2 tests. It's just a note, same format as December, it's 30 multiple choice, 10 of them are worth 2 points, so it comes out to be 40 like all of your other tests. All multiple choice. The final exam review packet is already in your packet, and you get a full sheet of paper front and back for notes. Yeah. Yes. 30 multiple choice, but 10 of them are worth 2 points, so it comes out to 40.
Same.